you're not taking any positive action. You're just worrying. So that's really important because otherwise, if you keep deceiving yourself, then you can't expect to make any change, right? So first you have to be aware of it. That's the first step. Second thing, well, so first you have to be aware that what often is referred to as care is really worry. Second thing is to realize that that worry is entirely negative. Because if you don't know those things, then you cannot expect to make any change. Because you'll just keep doing the same thing because I mean, first of all, that's the habit that you've already established. So that tendency is there. Second of all, the culture is encouraging you to continue to do that. And when I say the culture, I mean at all levels. It's like, of course, the news media are encouraging you because their whole business model depends upon you continuing to be worrying. And then think about your work relationships, your personal relationships largely involve worry. So if you don't have that awareness, then the tendency is just for it to continue. So you have to be aware. Now, once you're aware of that, then you need to have an intention to do something different. And this is where the other definition of care comes into play, which is to care for. Imagine you were to care for someone. Like, think about someone you genuinely love. If there's like a non-human who you really love, that makes it a lot easier, I think. So you can think about if there's like a dog or a cat who you love. I think that will make it easier. If you don't have a non-human who you love, then you'll have to make do with a human. But I think it's easier and clearer with a non-human because we don't have the same false expectations with non-humans as we do with humans. So if you think about this being who you love, then you can think about, well, out of this love for this person or this being, would you genuinely want this being to worry? Can you see any benefit to this being from worrying? And you can just say no because there's no benefit to them in worrying. Hopefully, it's then clear that when you genuinely love someone, then you would want out of that caring for, like if it was up to you, if you were responsible, if you could make all of the choices, then you would not have them worrying because you recognize that it's not good for them. Well, now, are you a being? And you can say yes. So then the same applies to you, right? So to care for yourself or to love yourself would mean the same would apply to you, which would mean that you would therefore, and when it comes to you, you actually do get to make the choice. Unlike with others, you don't get to choose for others whether they're going to worry or not. But for you, you actually do get to make that choice. So you could then put two and two together and recognize that to care for yourself means, in part, that to choose not to enact self-harm by worrying. Does that make sense? Worry is self-harm. It is an act of self-harm.